Hi everyone, this is Annindita Palaus, and today I wanted to make this short little video about the nature of ego. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel if you like listening to these videos. So coming back to the ego, I have received a few emails previously asking, requesting me to make a little video about ego and how you can overcome the ego. So the ego is really nothing but our thoughts. It's just our thought of separation. When we are born, when a child is born, the child has no ego. In fact, for the first few years, the child refers to their things like Annie's toys or Annie's clothes. They don't say it is my toy or my clothes. But after the first few years, as the sense of I, me and myself sets in, through of course training, and it is a natural part of our growth, of course, then from Annie's toys or Mike's toys or Mike's car, it becomes my car. It's my toy, my clothes, my house, my parents, my friends. And we hold on to that false idea of what is mine throughout our lives. And the reason so many books have been written and so many teachers have spoken about the importance of letting go of the ego is because the ego is what creates suffering. Because without the sense of I, me, myself, there will be no suffering. It is when you feel that something belongs to you has been taken, or something that was your possession has been taken, or somebody is doing something that belongs to you or trying to take something that is actually yours, when suffering sets in. And the easiest way to see through the illusion of the ego is self-inquiry or meditation. In fact, if you just focus on the verse, on the question during meditation, who am I? Some teachers suggest, what am I? It depends, whatever question resonates more with you. You can focus on the question, who am I? Or what am I? It doesn't matter. And just stay with that question and see what you come up with. Maybe initially what you come up with will be the labels that you have learned from the society. For instance, I'm a woman, or I'm a man, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a friend. Or maybe I'm a doctor, I'm an architect, I'm an artist, I'm a designer. Whatever labels that you have applied on yourself, most probably one of those labels will come up when you first start the process of self-inquiry through meditation and focusing on this question, who am I? Or what am I? Just pick any. When these thoughts or these ideas come up, then ask yourself, to whom do these ideas belong to? Or to whom do these thoughts belong to? And then you might even ask yourself, who am I beyond this label? So if I come up with the answer that I am a woman, then who am I beyond being a woman, or beyond being an artist, or beyond being a doctor or engineer or lawyer or whatever label that I have put on myself? Who am I beyond that? And when you focus on that question, then you might have some other answers. And then again, ask yourself, who am I beyond that? Or what lies beyond that thought? And what is the true source of all thoughts? Just stay with these questions and focus on what is the true source of all thoughts. Where do all thoughts come from? And what is aware of these thoughts? And just keep on repeating the same set of questions over and over. And do it for as long as you possibly can, just to the best of your ability. If it is just 5 minutes that you are able to focus on these questions, do it for just 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and slowly focus on staying with these questions for a longer amount of time. And once you are done meditating through this process of self-inquiry, just write down whatever ideas or insights or perceptions that you receive during this meditation. It is more of a self-inquiry than a meditation, but I still call it a meditation because it still involves you focusing single-mindedly on these questions instead of getting distracted with some other thoughts. And whenever thoughts come up, any kind of distracting thoughts that have nothing to do with these questions, just simply observe those thoughts and just ask yourself, to whom do these thoughts belong to? What is the true source of all these thoughts? What is the source of all thoughts? What is aware of these thoughts? So just stay with this process of self-inquiry and just keep on repeating the same questions over and over. And practice this every single day. The reason that I don't want to tell too much about what the ego is and what the nature of the ego is and what the ego is or is not and what you should or should not do, and instead the reason I want you to do this process of self-inquiry is because self-inquiry will lead you to the source of the answer. It is the direct way to receiving the answer yourself. It is an experiential way of not just listening somebody else talk about what the ego is, why you should not have the ego, why you should let go of the ego, why you should recognize the ego every time it pops up. Instead of listening to somebody else talk about this and intellectually understanding it, it is so much more effective and so much more efficient when you have first-hand experience of what the ego is and its true nature and how you can let go of it. And with practice you will see that the ego is something that does not even exist. It's not even real. You don't have to fight it because it is an illusion. It is just like a picture that is being projected on a projector. You know that when you go to watch a movie, they might show you movies of war or movies of love and romance or maybe a comedy movie or maybe a horror movie, but you know that none of that is real. It is just an illusion. It is just pictures, moving pictures that are being projected on the projector. Even though while you are watching it, you might be extremely engaged in the movie. You might cry when there is a sad scene, you might laugh when there is a funny scene, you might be afraid when there is a scary scene. Even while knowing that none of that is real, you still feel the emotions. The same way the ego, even though it is not real, but it still makes you feel all the emotions. And when you start this process of self-inquiry, you will realize what your true nature is, which is beyond the ego, which is beyond any of the suffering or the fear or the anxieties or the worries which the ego leads us into believing. So just stay with this process of self-inquiry and you will experience firsthand for yourself what the ego is and how you can transcend and go beyond the ego and let go of the ego. So I hope that helped, and if you like this video then like it, share it, leave your comments and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye.